Hello my darlings, my name is Silvadorkable, I'm your friendly monster waifu, and today we are going to be going over a little program review and first impression. So this is called Palette Wizard, and it's supposed to allow you to make palettes for colors out of different images or for selection of things, as well as a couple little tiny tools that you can use here and there. Now, the reason I find this interesting is because anyone who does character design, you're going to be familiar with doing reference sheets, and usually with reference sheets you'll end up with a small color palette of the character's colors. So this includes their hair color, their skin color, their eye color, and so forth. So I like the idea of being able to create a palette just from this and being able to essentially grab colors off of something in order to use. So let me see if I can just load up a quick picture. Extract. Now see, you can essentially extract colors from this where it will give you the color palette that you choose. Ultimately, say, let's see, we wanted to extract 16 colors, it automatically extracts those 16. Say if we wanted to extract 32 colors. Now granted, this doesn't allow you to choose the color specifically, this just takes the most prominent colors out of that entire thing and extracts them for you. So I find this very interesting, just in the fact that it allows you to pull colors from an image. However, when it comes to artistic reasoning for it, it doesn't really make too much sense. Especially when you are using it for color palettes with things such as character design. Like, for example, I'm sure this green is here somewhere, but I don't see this green. So it's somewhere, but it's not a prominent color. So we are going to reset all. Bring that back up. We're going to load the image again. Now, one of the really cool tools that it does offer is the color blindness emulation. So there are several people that do suffer from color blindness, and with this you can actually see what it essentially is doing. It kind of helps you see what someone else might necessarily see. Let's see. I think it's kind of cool. It's cool to see it in a different color. Let's see. Now, there is a color creator, which is also pretty useful. So you can choose different things like this. Now, free obviously allows you to choose whatever colors that you want. However, they usually will choose complementary colors. Now, I could get into the entire concept of color theory, where it essentially is whatever color you choose, you want the color on the opposite color spectrum. So like, for example, blue and yellow, pink and green, teal and orange are a very big one. But essentially with this, you'll usually want to use the complementary color that's on the other side. It kind of gives it a lot of contrast. You'll actually notice that a large portion of movie covers will usually use blue and then have orange or yellow or teal, as well as allowing the colors to pop. However, this also allows you to have different versions. So like, for example, this is mono, which is pretty much just one color. One color anywhere on here. You can use this to choose exactly where in the color spectrum you want. It'll give it different shades. You can move it around, space it out, and choose exactly how you want it. You can also do adjacent colors. So adjacent colors is essentially 3 points. So let's say that we wanted to use blue. The 2 other points would be pink and teal, or we can bring it in, it could be purple and teal, or we can bring it out, it could be red and green. So here's some of the major ones. And by adjusting this, you can change like the saturation and the hue. Well, not necessarily the hue. Hue would be this, but the saturation, should I say. and the brightness. There is Triad, which usually has 1 point and then 2 that are further on the opposite side, but they're divided essentially from this area. So they could either be out here, but they're usually like here. And you're able to choose those. Those usually give you a set of 2 colors that are similar, or at least on the same color temperature, and then 1 that's on the opposite temperature. So like a very common one would be blue, like light blue, and then yellow and red, because those are both warm and this is cool. Usually cool is around the blue, warm is around the red. There's also Tetra, and Tetra is essentially 4 points. So wherever these 4 points are, they're usually perfect 90-degree angles. However, they can be in different categories. There we go. So it is kind of nice. You can pretty much choose colors as you want. So I'm going to choose like that, and then maybe like a couple like right there. So we're going to add those. So now we have all of these. Let's move you over here. I don't want you over there. We don't actually want this on the palette. We want this over here where we can view it. Draw using mixed colors between 2 or more existing colors. So I assume I can mix those 2 colors. I don't like that you can't hit the undo while you have the pen selected. It's very uncomfortable. Okay, let's say that we want to sort these by saturation so that I can have 2 things next to each other. We're going to take these 2 colors. Oh, okay. So essentially you can run this color down and then run this color down and over, and it will mix the 2 colors. Oh, that one didn't mix. It'll mix the 2 colors and help you kind of make them a little bit nicer. Like, let's do this, and then we get kind of mixed in there. I wonder, essentially, if we could do this. See? And now it actually fades from that color to that color. So that is really cool, because if you wanted to, let's take this. So let's take this color. We'll put it right down here. And then let's take this color and put it right over here. So you can essentially take these 2 colors, take this tool, and draw down, and it's going to give you a perfect gradient of transition between one color and the other. Whereas this one, each color drawn gets more saturation. So let's try this. Let's see if we can... Oh, I see. So it's not necessarily like the other one where you're able to, but when you are physically drawing on it, it will get more saturation and allows you to make it more saturated as you draw over it. Whereas this one does the opposite. This makes it less saturated. So it's mostly to allow you to tone it down as you want. Whereas these ones get more color value or less color value. So like that's giving you more, that's giving you less. So this, you can essentially grab colors, which is what I was ultimately looking for, because I can grab as many colors as I want. Close the tools. Oh, apparently you have to have the tools on. Not sure I like that, but essentially I can grab any color that I want. This is kind of like the eyedropper tool in Photoshop. But you can essentially grab whatever color that you want. So this is what you would be using in order to make an appropriate color palette for the character. So you'd be able to grab all these colors that I want, like there's her skin, and there's the bell, and there's her shirt, there's her sweater. You know, I'd be able to grab these colors and put them into an efficient color palette for someone else to use if they chose to draw her. Oh. So this allows you to mix colors in the general vicinity. So like, let's say that I wanted to drag a lot of the colors out and just kind of mix the palette a little. You can see that this is filling up the palette, but it's filling it up with colors that are in the area of the palette. So if I do it over here, it'll give me colors that are essentially a mix of these colors or a mix of these colors, which I really like. It allows you to give it more of a gradient and doesn't do so much as far as just the hue or just the saturation or just the brightness. It actually adjusts all of those factors in the area and allows you to have a full color spectrum of what that shade could essentially be. So actually, let's try that over here, because I'm curious on what it's going to give me over here. So this gives me just a whole myriad of blues and greens and teals, which I love. Can I choose colors? Ah, there we go. Control clicking does help. So we're going to evolve. So now it's giving us a different mixture of colors to help with our palette. So you can see it kind of changing things. You can choose like, oh, I don't like that color. I don't like that color. So let's evolve it again. See what we got. That's not bad. Don't like that color, that color, that color. Let's try again. Oh, I like these colors though. You know, it's kind of a nice little tool to kind of help you alter it a little bit or change it just a bit. So I wonder, what does this do? Oh no. Oh, I hate all of these. They're reset. Just, what happens if I check all of these? Well, it gives me more red. What if I check all of them? It doesn't let me check them as fast as I want to. Oh, well, it's given me some. I don't really feel like this does a whole lot. As far as sorting, we already did that, but we can still sort everything. Oh, after we deselect what we did. Sort everything by hue, and now we just have a whole different way of playing with all of these things, which I absolutely love. I love the sorting feature. You can also adjust everything that you want. You can change everything as far as hue goes, as far as saturation goes. You can make it darker or lighter. Might be adjustments, huh? Ooh. And I like the fact that they have a lot of different options. They don't just have RGB. They also have hue saturation value, hue saturation lightness, hue chromoluminance. It's a lot of nice things that they didn't originally offer when it comes to a lot of programs that essentially you're not able to grab as many colors as you want. So let's say that we are going to load an image. Let's grab a different image. So this is a corgi banner that I made for someone's Etsy shop. Absolutely love it. I think that the gems on the outside are beautiful. So let's say that we're gonna grab like 128 colors from it. It's gonna take a few minutes, which is fine. I mean, it's grabbing a lot of stuff. Kind of has to find all the different variations of purple and things like that. So that's not a bad selection of color. We're going to sort it by hue. Well, that's pretty nice. Essentially, what we can do. Well, actually, doesn't look that bad. Ooh, I love the pastels that are right there. So we're going to go and take this and just kind of see what colors we want to make with it. Kind of allow us to see the different variations and the mixtures. See, I do like that. I genuinely do. And you're able to take those and go, I kind of like some of them. And you can actually, copy different ones or or change it in the way that you want it to. You can take the triatric colors. Like let's say we want analog colors. Great, link to here. Then we're going to use split complementary colors. And essentially it gives you the split complementary colors of it. Let's say that we want pentagram colors. It's going to give us the pentagram colors for it. Using links, you are essentially able to duplicate it to that area, but then expand upon it. So like, let's say I'm going to do split complementary colors. It's not bad. I'm going to do triadic colors. So that's all three colors in the different spectrum or sides of the spectrum, which honestly, I like this feature because then you essentially have these things that you can be like, oh, well, that one looks really well with that. This one looks really well with this. You can create the links where it essentially will lead it somewhere, but you still have your main colors. Let's do square colors. So these are the complementary colors for that. I can then take another, move it over here, and then create the complementary colors for that. And take this and kind of just, ooh, that's a little too much. Well, can find what's different between these. Or I could take the same amounts for those. Or I could pull in that. Or pull in this. So it's kind of nice because you can play around with one specific color and then the complementary colors that you would use. So honestly, I think this is a really cool tool, especially for artists. You can essentially zoom into this, which is good because I want to be able to pick out her actual skin colors. So let's say I'm trying to do like a skin palette and I'm trying to get the specific skin colors and what I use so that I can be like, hey, this is the skin palette that you would use if you were drawing this character in this situation in this lighting. And you'll notice there aren't like a whole bunch of different colors. A lot of them are very similar. But we're just gonna use this and we're gonna do it by value. So from darkest to lightest, you can get rid of some of these. I think if you hold Control, no, is it Alt? Maybe it's Shift. I don't know, I know there's like different ways to get rid of them. I think you can just delete them actually. Delete. So perfect, you can just click it, delete. We're just going to delete a couple of them that are a little too similar. Then all you have to do is just do by value. And then there is our, no, that one's a little too much. And then there's our skin color palette. So it's kind of nice because you can essentially do a lot of different things with this, and I really like it. Either way, I hope you guys liked this. Tell me what you think in the comments, and I will see you on Sunday for my live stream. Love you, darlings. Bye. Mwah.